Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on how the government is coming after your crypto assets. There's really no other way of putting it, because if you look at the draft regulations, that is worded correctly as the draft capital flow management regulations. And what these regulations are doing is to replace the exchange control regulations from the 1960s. But if you look at how this is written, it looks like it comes from the 60s, because apparently this country doesn't know how crypto assets work, and the way that they're trying to implement these regulations clearly is an overreach, and it is unconstitutional because it takes your fundamental rights away. Now, I will in the comments below post where you can go and voice your dissatisfaction with these draft regulations, and where you can stand up and say, not in my name, and I don't approve of these regulations. But I want to go into a little bit of detail with regards to exactly what specifically with crypto assets is problematic. Now, there are many other assets too, gold, silver, there's many other things, but the only thing that I want to focus on is crypto, because what they are asking of you, it is just absolutely pathetic. So I'm going to point out some of the draft regulations, but before I do, please be sure to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you anything. And if you haven't subscribed before, just give me a chance. If you don't like my content, you can always unsubscribe, but you can do that by clicking the subscribe button below, and it will be greatly appreciated. All right, so let's have a look at the draft capital flow management regulations that they are proposing. All right, so this is draft regulations. It's not law yet. And like I said, in the first comment below, you'll be able to get a link to where you can go and protest against this draft bill. And I'm not going to focus on every single aspect because this is a massive document, but I just wanted to bring your attention to the most problematic ones. But you can see that this is the capital flow management regulations. It's the draft version of the policy. And I've highlighted some issues that I've seen that I think is going to cause a lot of headaches for the government if they decide to implement this. So over here, under restrictions on export of crypto, I'm just going to cut out the words that I don't need. A person may not, and then they say, except with the permission of National Treasury or an authorized person, take or send out or remove currency, crypto assets, gold, or securities from the Republic. So you can't send the crypto to another exchange overseas, because then you break the law. And we'll get to the fines and punishment at the end. And trust me, you want to sit down for that one. But also, you're not allowed to send, consign, give, or deliver currency, crypto assets, blah, 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 to any person for the purpose of removing the currency, crypto, blah, 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 from the Republic. So if I want to give a tip to somebody in another country with the crypto that I have, then I'm breaking the law. It's almost like this was written in the 1960s. And then make payments to or in favor of or on behalf of a person residing outside the Republic, or place any amount either in currency, crypto assets, gold, or securities to the credit of a person outside of the Republic. Once again, breaking the law if you just send people some crypto. How does that make sense? And by the way, we're just getting started. I mean, it gets a lot better, trust me. Listen to this one. Every person who is about to leave the Republic, and every person at any port or other. So in essence, if you're leaving the country, whether temporary or forever, right, then if you don't do the following, you're in trouble. Declare whether or not they possess or have control over any currency, crypto assets, etc. So if you leave this country and you get to that point where you're about to get into international territory, then you have to declare these things. Like if they ask you, do you own crypto? Then you have to not only say yes, but you have to actually tell them exactly how much. And if you don't, then they can search your laptop or search for your private seed or your seed or phrases or your private key. It is insane that they think that they can do this. And then it goes on by saying, produce any currency, crypto assets, gold, or securities in their possession or under their control. So if you've got a USB or your laptop with you, then it's under your control. So you have to declare it. And then produce to the enforcement officer any document evidencing, weird word, an exemption or permission which the person claims to have to remove currency, crypto assets. So now you need letters of permission. An enforcement officer may search any person or any article in that person's possession or under their control for the purpose of asserting whether the person possesses or has control of any currency, crypto assets, gold, or securities. Imagine this. I mean, a crypto asset is digital, and they are going to search you for it. So open your laptop, please, and what? How are they going to find it? This just shows the lack of detail that they went into when they said, okay, let's formulate a policy surrounding crypto assets. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. If that person has denied the possession or control of any foreign currency, crypto assets, or gold or securities, and if the enforcement officer suspects on reasonable grounds that the person is in possession or in control of any currency, crypto assets, etc., then they can act on that. An enforcement officer may seize any currency, crypto assets found on the possession or under the control of any person. And if the enforcement officer, on reasonable grounds, suspects that the currency, crypto asset, gold, or securities are to be removed from the Republic in contravention of these regulations. Like, the level of absurdity is just absolutely insane. But trust me, it gets worse. And an example of this is restrictions on import of currency, which means also that you're not allowed to buy crypto overseas, because if you buy it overseas and it's on the exchange and you bring it into your private wallet, then you have technically broken the law here. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one. You can go and read that one on your own. But there are some others that are just absolutely insane. Acquisition of foreign currency or crypto assets by national treasury. Any person in the Republic who has under their control, obtains possession of, or becomes entitled to sell, procure the sale of, or transfer any foreign currency or crypto assets in an amount or with a value in excess of the determined threshold. There isn't even a determined threshold in this draft document. So we don't even know if they are talking about serious players with tens of millions of rands of crypto. And I think also that is the reason why so many people are losing their minds. Because why didn't you just put in the amount here? Like 1 million rand, 10 million rand. But now, you know, somebody that might have 50,000 rands worth of crypto is looking at this and going, like, so what? If I leave the country, I'm breaking the law, because my laptop's with me, and on my laptop is my wallet, or, you know, my phrase, you know, like, they clearly don't know what they're doing over here. But anyway, it says, must within 30 days or a longer period that may be prescribed from this date of any of the aforementioned events, make a declaration in writing in the form and manner prescribed by the National Treasury of the foreign currency or crypto assets to the National Treasury or an authorized person. So you have to declare. You have to pretty much tell the government all of your private information so that they can know exactly what's going on over here. And here they come with declaration of foreign assets or crypto assets. It says every person in the Republic must within 30 days of or such period that may be prescribed. They're just repeating the same thing, that you have to declare when the foreign asset or crypto asset was acquired. So you have to keep record. You have to know how the foreign asset or crypto asset was acquired. You have to state where the foreign asset or crypto asset is held. What? You have to give them all your information. Whether the foreign asset or crypto asset is held as cover for or in respect of any other foreign liability. I mean, come on. This is absolutely absurd. Any foreign asset or crypto asset in respect of which a declaration has been made in terms, okay, it's all of these little things that you have to tell the government, where previously you had the freedom, to withhold incriminating information with the government. And here they are just demanding that you declare it. But hey, don't worry, it gets better. Trust me. They always keep the most controversial things for the end. But this is one of the best ones over here. It says forfeiture and disposal of money, crypto assets, or property attached or in respect of which orders have been issued or made. So in essence, I'm not going to read the fine print here, but what it says is if they find that you withheld the crypto assets from them, then they can just seize it and it becomes their property. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. This is also a good one over here. It says any person who was the owner or in control of any crypto asset which is forfeited in terms of this regulation shall, upon written demand made by National Treasury or an authorized person, furnish full particulars in writing of all and any passwords, personal identification numbers, or codes which are necessary to enable National Treasury to obtain access to and control over the crypto assets at their disposal. That's right. So once they catch you out that you've got assets that you didn't declare to them, then they can force you to hand over your seed phrases, your private key, your private wallet, all of these things. And now for the worst part, the offenses and penalties. So under section 2 of 29 over here, it says, a person found guilty of an offense in terms of subregulation 1 is liable to, get ready for this, a fine not exceeding R1,000,000, imprisonment for a period not exceeding 5 years, or both a fine and imprisonment. And then they say a person who is convicted of an offense in terms of subregulation 1 in relation to any money, crypto asset, or property may be liable to a fine not exceeding R1,000,000 or a sum equal to the value of the money, crypto asset, or property, whichever is the greater. So if your crypto assets is 6 million rand, then that is the amount that they can take. So you can not only go to jail, but you can also lose all of your crypto assets. Now I understand that that is a lot to read through and to grasp, but ultimately this is an overreach by the government by saying that if you have crypto assets, and they put gold and other things in there, but you can clearly see that this draft regulations is for crypto. Even though the way that they've written it make it look like it's from the 60s, because imagine you're at an airport and you are about to depart on an international flight, and then they come and ask you, do you have any crypto assets? And then you go, no. And then they go, you said, that means you must have. Now, show me your laptop. Show me your phone. And then they have the permission, according to this draft regulation, to go through your phone, go through your laptop, to look whether or not you've got crypto. On the other side of it, of course, is you can just say no. And then if the person isn't bothered, then that's the end of it. Even if you have 100 million in crypto assets that you're about to go overseas and sell for nuclear weapons. So on both sides of the extreme, it is ludicrous. If you actually have crypto assets and it's, let's say, 5,000 rands worth, now you have to go through all the schlep and show them. But on the other hand, you can just say, no, I don't have, when in actual fact you've got 100 million and you're going to go and buy drugs or nuclear weapons or whatever overseas. It's just absolutely absurd. The fact that the government think that this is acceptable just tells you how draconian the state has become, and also how desperate they've become for money. Because it's very clear that the one department that runs better than any department in this country is SARS. SARS, the one state-owned entity that runs million times better than anything else, better than Eskom, better than Transnet. It's absolutely absurd that the one that you don't really want to do well is doing brilliantly, and everything else is just terrible. But hey, when it comes to delivering services, everything is broken. When it comes to taking your money, then it's world-class infrastructure that they've got. And these draft regulations is just another clear indicator that the government is doing everything in its power to get as much money from you as possible and limit your freedom to the utmost extent because they are this desperate. So please, everybody, in the comment below, the very first comment, you'll find a link in which you can go and say that you do not want these regulations, you do not support these regulations. And it's not because people that own crypto don't want to pay tax if they make a profit. It truly is just an overreach by the government, and it is breaching our constitutional rights that we have. So be sure to speak up and speak out and tell the government where they can shove this draft regulation, because as it stands right now, it is very clear that it's unconstitutional and it's an overreach by the government coming after people's money because they have to plug more holes because of a lot of people leaving this country because they don't want to live under these discriminatory laws and where they are excluded when it comes to getting a job, but when it comes to taking your money, they are the very first in line to do so. It is absolutely absurd. So be sure to click on the link in the first comment and let's all voice our concern with regards to these draft regulations. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash a like button, share this video far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free. If you'd like to contribute financially to this channel, then you can either give a super thanks, you can look for the $ below, or you can become a member to this channel by clicking on the join button below. Both will be greatly appreciated, so thank you very much. And that's all I got to say. Till later, cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre.